poor attempt to play offside, and Dati Evaldsson beating the new Nottingham Forest goalkeeper Hans van Broekelen. But 2 minutes later, though, Iceland lost the concentration at a free kick. Dick Schernacker of Ajax left with a simple header. So Iceland won, Holland won the final.
Yeah. And here's Owen. West Germany rather retreating. Goddard, and it's opened up for Owen! First blood for England! Owen. And just look at the space that the Germans have allowed to Sammy Lee. Owen continuing his run. Shaw. And now Fashanu! And the goalkeeper slow off his line. Goddard lets it run. The touch from Shaw. Fashanu, and they're arriving in the middle. McCall brought down, it's a penalty. 3-0. And Owen celebrates his second. Caton's header. Rijkaard. Oh, and Duxbury presents the goal for Voller, and West Germany with an away goal that could be significant in the second leg.
Soler whacks it clear. Lund under this. Got a good touch. Maristic waited. Ökland didn't. And Tommy Lund is in to score. Oh, Ökland will. No! Southall got a touch and put it away from the corner. 2 chances down the drain for Norway. And that's knocked off the line then by Flynn. That's a better one. Oh, the goalkeeper got it, dropped it, it's in the net! That's got to be an own goal by the goalkeeper. 1-0. That is a very, very crowded goalmouth at the moment. More packed in there than there are into the grandstand. Oh, it was a fine try then by Herrera. Stick jumping high. Johnson. And here goes Tommy Lund. Lund against Southall. Oh!
In Group 7, the Republic of Ireland in the green shirts conceded a goal in the first minute to Holland in Rotterdam. Dick Schernacker of Ajax arriving beyond the far post. Ireland went further behind 19 minutes into the second half. Ruud Gullit getting past Chris Hughton and shooting powerfully past Jim McDonough. 11 minutes from time, though, the endeavour of Liam Brady gave Ireland some consolation. Brady winning the ball deep inside the Dutch area and providing the opening for Jerry Daly. But it finished 2-1 to Holland. In Group 2, a crowd of only 3,000 in Helsinki saw Portugal in red gain a comfortable victory over Finland. Nene, the experienced Portuguese international, getting the better here of goalkeeper Izohaho after 15 minutes. Portugal in control for much of the game, but they didn't add to their lead until the very last minute from Oliveira's free kick. Finland 0, Portugal 2. Group 6 provided the widest margin of victory in Wednesday's European Championship matches. Austria's 5-0 win over Albania, beginning with Max Hagmeyer's header. The second came from a clever Austrian free kick, skillfully taken by Felix Gasalik. The third goal was an absolute disaster for Albania. Striker Kolar back defending at a corner, volleying crazily past his own goalkeeper. We see the fourth goal in slow motion. Albania unable to clear yet another free kick, and the ball finally pushed out by goalkeeper Lurashi, but straight to Heribert Weber, who was left with a simple tap-in. A totally one-sided game in Vienna, and Karl Brauneder marking his appearance as a substitute with a final goal. Austria 5, Albania 0. Steen saw them make a convincing start in Group 1, boosted by this own goal from the Swiss defender Heinz Ludi in only the second minute of the game. Ludo Cook, who had such a fine World Cup, made it 2-0 3 minutes into the second half. Cook, such a fine striker of the ball, with his left foot, driving his shot past Eric Bergner. Belgium produced another clinical move 8 minutes from time, finished off by their prolific striker Erwin Vandenberg. 3-0 in Brussels, and plenty for Jock Steen to ponder on. Rangers' Robert Pritz on the ball here, lined up for Sweden against Czechoslovakia in Group 5. All the goals in Bratislava in the second half, Petr Janečka giving the Czechs the lead in the 47th minute. 6 minutes later, Czechoslovakia scored again. The cross from Pokluda and Janečka on target for a second time, and the game seemingly over. But Sweden struck back with 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. The first, a cleverly hooked shot from Mats Ljungblad. Ljungblad on as a substitute for his first international appearance. And his effort set up a frantic finale, with Sweden producing a dramatic equaliser from Ulf Eriksson.
The Greeks attacking the goal to the right, and in fact they scored twice in the first 25 minutes. The first from a penalty. Watch for a challenge by inexperienced teenager Bechet pulling down Dimopoulos, and there's a bit of a suspicion about the penalty taken by Anastopoulos, and that looks like a shimmy there. I thought that was illegal, but the Greeks won up after 7 minutes. The conditions really were terrible, very wet indeed. England manager Bobby Robson there to see the Greek star Mavros. He didn't play, but it was this man Anastopoulos who stole the show. Suspicion of offside, but the trap is beaten. He goes round the keeper Moes, and just enough strength on the ball. 2-0 to Greece, the result.
The fact that young England in the cherry red shirts had never seemed in danger of losing this UEFA final. And when captain Sammy Lee delivered this perfect ball to Mike Duxbury 5 minutes into the second half, the cup looked as good as won. The aggregate score was now 4-1 in England's favour. The Germans had included their World Cup player Pierre Litbarski in the under-21 side in an attempt to retrieve the final, and it was his goals that kept German hopes alive. Litbarski scoring the first of his second half hat-trick from Engels' cross. 13 minutes from time, there were 3 quick goals. Look for a fine turn here by Dave Hodgson, and then a pass neatly controlled by Paul Goddard and pulled to one side before being knocked into the corner for a very neat goal. This corner led to the Germans getting a controversial penalty. Litbarski was the man who went down, challenged by Steve McCall, but Terry Fenwick of Queen's Park Rangers clearly thought that the little winger had made a meal of it. Litbarski didn't let the protests affect him and scored from the spot. And 3 minutes later, Litbarski completed the hat-trick, this time knocking in a free kick from Johnny Otten. But victory belonged to young England, 5-4 on aggregate. Northern Ireland in the dark shirts were a goal down after just 3 minutes. The Austrian captain Prohaska plays the through ball, and Schachner is the player who proves too difficult to stop. When these teams met during the second phase of the World Cup, Northern Ireland enjoyed a 2-2 draw. Schachner didn't score on that occasion, but proved Austria's match winner tonight, holding off the challenge here of Jimmy Nicholl before pushing the ball wide of Jim Platt's dive. 5 minutes before half-time, Austria scored their second goal, and again it came from that man Schachner. But Northern Ireland might reflect on their poor covering for that corner kick. Yurtin was the man who took it, but just look how much freedom Schachner is given to get in his header. Although Platt gets a hand to the ball, he couldn't keep it out, and 2-0 was the final score. So Austria's win keeps them top of the table with maximum points, having already defeated Albania 5-0. Yet to play in this group, though, are Turkey and the West Germans.
Kevin Moran. Michael Robinson to Ronnie Whelan to Frank Stapleton. Yes! That's a beautifully taken goal by Frank Stapleton. Robinson and Whelan were involved in the build-up, and it was marvellous finish by Stapleton. Referee plays the advantage, and well played, referee. Here's Waddock. Linesman flagged for a foul on Lawrence, and referee said play on. So the attack is still good, and Tony Grealish has scored, but it doesn't count. Offside. Offside against Grealish. The crowd want a big kick upfield, and Seamus McDonough obliges. Robinson breaks through for Grealish. And it's there! And the crowd was right.
Well, there was no scoring in the first half, but the deadlock was broken in the second, 8 minutes in. After this excellent piece of play, and a very typical piece of play by John Robertson. Watch John walk. How often he has done that. It was no more than Scotland had deserved, who had attacked persistently throughout the first half without any luck at all. This is excellent finishing against an extremely tight German defence, the ball proving far too elusive eventually off the head of Walk, with Rudolf White a little bit slow getting down there. The game was clinched 15 minutes to go with an excellent goal by substitute Paul Sturrock of Dundee United, who'd come on in place of Ali Brazil. A finish worthy of John Walk himself. But watch the work of John Robertson, singled out by the East German manager after the game as the outstanding player on the field. An almost incredibly tight position at the line, gets it across for Scotland's Player of the Year to put it away.
Sent through to Litvarski, and now Rummenigge. That's easily done by him. Rummenigge. Here's Litvarski. Rummenigge's arriving. Oh, it's there. 2-0. And Butcher's on the near post, turned back and driven into the net by Tony Woodcock.
The Soviet side, playing for the first time under their new manager, Valery Lobanovsky, took the lead after only 2 minutes. The Finnish goalkeeper lost the free kick taken by Oganessian, and Baltacha headed powerfully in. Although the injured Oleg Blokin was not among them, the new manager included 7 players from his own club side, Dynamo Kiev. It fell to 2 of the outsiders to fashion the second goal. Alexander Shevadze made it, and Andreev scored, giving the Soviet side a comfortable 2-0 victory.
Norway in the white shirts beat England on this pitch in Oslo a year ago, and this was another fine victory, with the Yugoslavs helping the veteran Norwegian forward Tom Lund celebrate his last home international appearance with a gift of a goal after 5 minutes. Lund, soon to quit the national team to concentrate on business, laid on the pass from which Auckland made it 2-0 early in the second half. A mistake by the Norwegian goalkeeper Nygaard allowed the Yugoslavs to pull a goal back 16 minutes from the end. Savic's header didn't look too hot to handle. A minute from time, the Norwegians wrapped up the 3-1 victory that took them to the top of Group 4, ahead of Wales, with a goal from the corner. Left winger Torresson is the man who gets the ball back into the box for Åge Hareide of Manchester City to head the goal.
Wales should take note of the skills of Velichkov, the Bulgarian striker whose superb control set up the opening goal against Norway in the red shirts in their Group 4 tie in Sofia. Laninov takes the ball forward from the corner, and Norway's goalkeeper Nygaard can only push his shot straight to Velichkov, who scored with ease. An astonishingly blatant and needless handball gave Norway an equaliser. Ilya the culprit, and not surprisingly there wasn't a glimmer of protest from the Bulgarians. The slow-motion replay makes it look even worse. Alvar Thoresson made no mistake with the penalty to make the score 1-1. In the second half, Norway dominated, and Manchester City's Åge Hareide laid on their second goal, scored in spectacular fashion by Larsen Erkland. Almost immediately, Bulgaria drew level from a free kick taken by Mladenov. The scorer, Nikolov, to make the final score, Bulgaria 2, Norway 2. In Group 7, which includes the Republic of Ireland, Spain had their first match since the World Cup, a disappointing 1-0 victory over Iceland in the blue shirts. The only goal was scored by Juan Pedrosa, and Spain, with a new manager, Miguel Munoz, and virtually a new team, were very relieved to see it go.
It was Italy's first home defeat in 11 years, the goal coming 8 minutes into the second half when Sulcer's clever little return pass was converted by Rudi Elsener. Watching the replay only confirms how well the Swiss player did, not just piercing the Italians' famed defence, but ignoring Gentili's blatant arm holding to clip the ball past substitute keeper Bordon. And it could have been even worse for Italy had Claudio Sulcer not been denied by a goalpost shortly afterwards. The final score, Italy 0.
Holland attacking the goal to the right in the first half, watched by only 8,000 spectators in Rotterdam, but they saw the Dutch get off to a good start. Boever's pass across the face of the penalty area, Simon Tahamata meeting it first time, 1-0 to Holland in the 8th minute. But 4 minutes later, France equalised. And what a welcome return to international football for Patrick Battiston, so badly injured, you'll remember, by Harald Schumacher, the West German goalkeeper, in the World Cup semi-final. Look for Battiston wearing number 2, well forward here and finishing crisply. It's 1-1. And it was France who got the winning goal 8 minutes from time. Michel Platini making room for a powerful shot. Holland 1, France 2.
Kiar involved right at the foot of the post there. It really was most confusing. And the referee adjudged Roman handled the ball. So a penalty it was. And Lebu coolly there, stepping up to score. Well, it was that sort of match, really. Very scrappy. Luxembourg equalising 8 minutes into the second half. A cross coming in, and Demonicu scoring at the second attempt. Well, the winner after 67 minutes, Jesper Olsen, forcing a magnificent save there from Moesh. So Klaus Begren heading in
to find space in which to receive the cross from Peter Bouva and hit the shot first time. The French stirred memories of their World Cup form with the way they fought back, equalising within 4 minutes, when Patrick Battiston surged up from fullback to score in his first international since he was flattened by the West German goalkeeper Harald Schumacher in the World Cup semi-final. The French won the game with a goal 7 minutes from time that showed all the skills of Michel Platini. The ball...
Antonioni's cross and Altobelli on his own ground with the header. But the Czechs put in a battling performance, and they drew level after 26 minutes. It's Dino Zoff in the Italian goal. He equalled Bobby Moore's number of caps, 108, but beaten there by that shot from midfield player Jiri Sloop. He had quite a game, Czechoslovakia's new midfield player. Into the second half now, it really is a slog in the mud there, and the Italians take the lead once again, although there's a wicked deflection, you'll see, at the end of this run from Marini, beating the Czech keeper. But Italy haven't beaten Czechoslovakia for 30 years. The pitch didn't give them too much chance to show their skills. And this is the Czech equaliser. A good long run, and Chalupka makes...
The English fans were abused and spat upon as they went to their enclosure, guarded by scores of the 1,500 police on duty. Some responded with provocative gestures. One showed a knife, which police confiscated. Then the flares, fireworks, coins and bottles began to rain down. The police quickly decided the enclosure to be an error of judgment and tried to get the handful of supporters out. One Greek came over the railing and lost several teeth as he was arrested. Other Greeks were arrested too, but no Britons. The British couldn't believe their luck as they were ushered to seats in the team and officials' enclosure. There was no more trouble during the match.
Here's Lee, and now Neil. Chips it in for Mariner to flick one forward, and can Woodcock get a touch? Well, what a start for England. What a start. Martin. Oh, and Woodcock with a run on goal, ahead of his marker. Now can he finish? Tony Woodcock has put the ball in the net for his second and England's second. Sammy Lee complaining. And he'll try a shot, will Lee, and it's gone in! Sammy Lee on his full international debut makes it 3-0.
After the match, a small group of Greeks, clearly intent on trouble, waited for the British to leave. The police guarded their unwelcome visitors from a prowling gang for an hour and a half before putting them on a police bus to get them away from the ground.
This is Brady to Ashley Grimes. Good run by Stapleton. There's the first tackle by Maceda on Stapleton. Brady! What a start that would have been in 15 seconds. Unbelievable. The referee played the advantage when Frank Stapleton was fouled. The break of the play came to Brady. He had it on his weaker side, the right foot, but it certainly was a chance in 15 seconds. Senor. Less than a minute gone, and already there are indications that this indeed could be a pretty physical game. Big man here, number 4, is Maceda. Victor will be Liam Brady's marker today. Senor. Good challenge by Grealish. Grimes to Michael Robinson. An attempted body check survived. Shot by Grimes! Ashley Grimes! What a start for Ireland! Oh, a marvellous goal! Brady being caught in possession by Pedrazza, foul by Brady. Many in the crowd unimpressed by the performance of Pedrazza on the turf. He will arise now and go about his business. And that's Godillo about to take the free kick for Spain. 1-0 Ireland lead. 14 minutes to the half-time break. Drops to Maceda! Walloped it! 1-1. Maceda, the big centre-back, came forward. The free kick taken by Godillo. And the number 4, Maceda, walloping it to the net. Godillo. Houghton. Victor. And Senor has made this break for Spain, and Ireland's in trouble. Senor made the break. Martin tried to keep it out, but the ball ends up in the net. And Spain lead 2-1 with a goal in just after a minute of the second half. That Spain have this game. There's some wild challenges there as Marcos takes it for Spain. Tries to feed it through to Victor. Ah, yes, and that totally wraps it up. A fine goal by Spain. The thing became a mess. Devine was there, number 2. In went Victor. Goalkeeper was caught, and it was an empty net, gaping, and Spain gladly filled it. Brady, in goes Stapleton! Frank Stapleton has scored! And Ireland is back in the game. Liam Brady's free kick. A copybook header by Stapleton, and his 9th goal for Ireland in 30 internationals. Brady's corner, the flick on, the lock on, and it's taken off the line by Orconada. Mickey Walsh trying to get it in, and what a miracle escape for Spain as Brady's corner came over. That was really one that will be talked about for a while. Back for O'Callaghan. Oh, beautifully leaving Godillo. And Victor. Great run by O'Callaghan. And it's in! Frank Stapleton has scored! Frank Stapleton from O'Callaghan's cross. The most magnificent of goals. Lawrenson and O'Callaghan involved, but it really was Kevin O'Callaghan's masterpiece. 1 tackle, 2 tackles he left for dead. The cross to the far post, and there was dead-eyed Dick Stapleton for his 10th international goal.
Believe me, we could have beaten them 3-0, and we deservedly won that game.
Ian Stewart, will try one, and he scored! Ian Stewart has done...
...full victory against one of the world's most powerful football nations, and with typical Irish whimsy, the scorer, Ian Stewart of Queen's Park Rangers, had never before scored a goal, even in league football. The West Germans will still surely qualify from this group, but Northern Ireland
had the approach work of Brighton's Michael Robinson to thank for the opening goal. But the shot coming up from Manchester United's Ashley Grimes brought the crowd to their feet in delight. Superbly struck, and internationals in the Republic are always exciting occasions. Spain, though, determined to atone for their flop in the World Cup finals, got back into the match when blonde defender Massadar joined the attack for a free kick and scored with that fierce volley. 1-1. In the second half, a slice of misfortune befell Newcastle United's Mick Martin, who was celebrating completing 50 caps for the Republic. He slid the ball into his own goal to make the score 2-1 to Spain. At this stage, the Spaniards were inspired by the little midfield player Victor, who missed the World Cup with injury and was never truly replaced. He made the score 3-1 and seemed to have put the match beyond the reach of the Irish. But the old Arsenal connection of Liam Brady and Frank Stapleton produced the important goal. It's Brady's free kick, Stapleton's header, and now the score was 3-2. The crowd sensed a comeback, and Stapleton, having a thin time in front of goal for Manchester United, soon went one better. Kevin O'Callaghan of Ipswich providing the run and the cross, Stapleton on the end of it, and the final score in this thrilling match in Dublin, Republic of Ireland 3, Spain 3. No wonder the supporters were so pleased.
Yugoslavia attacking the goal to the left, winning through this header from Stojkovic, their experienced defender. It came in the first half, it was the only goal of the game, and Wales
lead when newcomer Tony Polster flicked in that long throw after just 10 minutes. He's only 18, and set plays were to be a major factor in this Austrian victory. After 34 minutes, a corner by Prohaska was turned on twice, and Bruno Petsai got the final touch to make it 2-0. Austria on the attack again just 2 minutes later, and here Herbert Prohaska, playing these days for Roma in Italy, is brought down inside the penalty area. After receiving attention following that heavy fall, Prohaska got up and took the penalty himself, making the half-time score here 3-0 to Austria. Certainly Turkey had no answer to Austria's powerful attacking play, and in the second half, Walter Schachner ran through to score and made the final result 4-0 to the currently rampant Austrians.
The green-shirted Irish scored an historic and remarkable victory against one of the world's most powerful football nations. And with typical Irish whimsy, the scorer, Ian Stewart of Queen's Park Rangers, had never before scored a goal even in league football. The West Germans will still surely qualify from this group, but Northern Ireland
keeping their lead in Northern Ireland's group, Group 6, with this thorough victory over Turkey in Vienna. The first goal from a long throw, Polster getting a touch, it goes straight in with the goalkeeper moving slowly to cover. Austria's second goal came from this corner, 2 deflections before defender Bruno Petsai right on the line heading in. Still in the first half, and a penalty now for the Austrians. Herbert Prohaska brought down. And it's Prohaska himself with a casually taken penalty, 3-0. Into the second half now. Turkey outclassed and giving the ball away in midfield. And the chance falling to Walter Schachner, well taken too, 4-0 to Austria. And there were goals aplenty in Dublin, where the Republic of Ireland met Spain in group.
And it comes to Polster in. Polster. Right through the stunning defense. And the corner again.
Austria in the red shirts, playing from left to right, took the lead when newcomer Tony Polster flicked in that long throw after just 10 minutes. He's only 18, and set plays were to be a major factor in this Austrian victory. After 34 minutes, a corner by Prohaska was turned on twice, and Bruno Petsai got the final touch to make it 2-0. Austria on the attack again just 2 minutes later, and here Herbert Prohaska, playing these days for Roma in Italy, is brought down inside the penalty area. After receiving attention following that heavy fall, Prohaska got up and took the penalty himself, making the half-time score here 3-0 to Austria. Certainly Turkey had no answer to Austria's powerful attacking play, and in the second half, Walter Schachner ran through to score and made the final result 4-0 to the currently rampant Austrians.
Wales manager Mike England was among the crowd of 25,000 in Sofia who saw Yugoslavia in the blue shirts gain a valuable win. The new-look Yugoslavian side, with only 2 of their World Cup squad in the lineup, scored the only goal from this free kick 9 minutes before half-time. The scorer, fullback Stojkovic, and the defeated Bulgarians have now already dropped 3 home points.
Watched by Bobby Robson against Denmark last month, he scored the national side's first goal for 18 months.
Against a Luxembourg side that's already lost at home both to Greece and to Denmark. But
on a night when England are looking for goals, Luther Blissett, the Watford striker, starts a full international for the first time. Steve Coppell's ability to provide chances has secured his place, even though he's still feeling the baffling knee injury, which has kept him out of the international reckoning since the World Cup. Ray Clemence is back in the England goal after a training injury to Peter Shilton on Monday, and Terry Butcher's return to fitness covers the absence of Phil Thompson. 4 changes then in all from the side that won in Greece, but Bobby Robson retaining the midfield personnel who served him so well in Salonika: Sammy Lee, Brian Robson and Gary Mabbott. Luxembourg, in contrast, can call on just 4 full-time professionals: Chico Roman, Guy Hellers and Carlo Weiss. They both play in France, and Benny Reiter, the number 10, earns his living in West Germany. The rest are receiving just £20 each for tonight's appearance, and that also compensates for loss of wages while they're away from their normal jobs. For the first time in a major international at Wembley, the officials all come from Iceland. The referee is Hreiðar Jónsson. It's a blustery night here for England's first home game in this European Championship. The pitch very much on the soft side. And Bobby Robson has given his side 2 tasks here. First of all, to win. Secondly, to win convincingly. No question that in this group, goal difference might be the final decider. And perhaps an opportunity here for England to improve their start to the European Championship in that particular capacity. Ken Sansom wearing number 3. Luxembourg will mark man for man at the back, and it's Bossy quickly in on Tony Woodcock. Tony Woodcock with 3 goals in his last 2 international appearances. England have the throw. Ken Sansom looking to take it long, and the delay was while Alvin Martin got forward to join Terry Butcher on the near post. It's Butcher who makes contact. And a good save by Merce. Blissett claims it was over. And it looks as though the England players feel that they've taken the lead. It was Blissett who got the final touch. As the referee goes across the talk to the linesman, Butcher flicked it on. And as Merce made the first save from Mabbott, it was Blissett who tucked it back. Was it over the line? The referee in the end said no. Merce punches again. England were hoping so much to get an early goal, not just to settle their own composure, but to stop any restlessness in the crowd. Because although Luxembourg, of course, amongst the weakest of the European nations, they can point to results like just a 1-goal defeat in Italy last year. But it was the despairing lunge from Jono Merce in Luxembourg's goal that in the end the referee said did enough to keep out Blissett's effort. Robson's pass, and Blissett is free here, but can't hit the target. But encouraging space for England to create. Luxembourg playing with just 2 men forward. Their intention here is not just to sit behind the ball. Their coach Louis Pilot is looking for them to try and play the ball around when they do get possession. And that sense of adventure might suit England as well. Ryan Robson, captain at Wembley for the first time. Luxembourg retreat in front of him. And Blissett making a move off the ball. Had lost his marker completely. But on that occasion, Roman plugged the gap. Again, both central defenders are forward. It looks as though they're concentrating on the near post, Martin and Butcher. And it's Martin, comfortable for Merce, who'd stayed on his line, from Alvin Martin's header. Woodcock. Now Robson on his stronger foot. Merce can only beat it out. Now Blissett. In the end, the cool head was provided for Luxembourg by Johnny Clemens, the number 6. But Robson really stinging the goalkeeper's fingertips. It was an unorthodox save from Jean Merce, but he got away with it because Blissett couldn't convert the rebound. He Hellers, the 18-year-old. Gires taking over. Hellers again. Now Weiss, harried by Mabbutt. Luxembourg being forced back as they keep possession. The extra touches on the ball will help their confidence. Eventually Mabbutt gets the tackle in, and that's really what he's in the side to do. And it's Lee who frees Koppel. Robson wins it back. Blissett is onside. Robson going to the near post. And an own goal of the strangest nature. Bossy shakes his head. He drove the ball back, trying to clear it, and it went in off the goalkeeper. So England make the breakthrough, but in a way they could hardly have expected. Blissett's cross, Bossy's clearance, it hit Merce, it's an own goal. England lead after 17 minutes. But poor Luxembourg here. They had problems enough at the start without conceding a goal like that. Butcher. Two front runners moving ahead of him. Butcher very disappointed in his efforts to find the pass. Could hardly have been further off target. Sanson with the throw. The amount of litter on the pitch again reflecting the windy conditions. Merce hesitated. Koppel makes it two. As Luxembourg stood and waited. The goalkeeper starting to come off his line. Steve Koppel was not so hesitant. Got in front of the marker and planted the header into the corner. And Koppel, who's not scored in his last 17 internationals, is back on target for England again. His last goal was in May 1980 against Scotland. He's made it 2-0 here. 22 minutes gone. Mabbutt. Well, certainly the crowd came here tonight, really not one of Wembley's biggest, but they came here tonight in anticipation that England would provide goals for them. They've seen 2 goals in the game's first quarter. Probably some of them still arguing that Luca Blissett should have been given a third. Sanson. Good turn from Blissett. It's Weiss who was tackling back. Butcher making his way forward, Martin there as well. It's Woodcock who's waiting on the far post as we look. It went beyond Woodcock in the end. And he manipulates another corner for England. Every time the ball is played across the face of the goal in the air, Luxembourg look in severe difficulties. Dreshto, this time meeting it on the near post. Fine ball by Neil. Here's Koppel, England just waiting to provide the touch in the middle. Well, Luther Blissett with club and now with country does get into good scoring positions. But if there has been a criticism of his game, he doesn't finish a high proportion of the chances that come his way. And just look how many players England had waiting to turn in Koppel's cross. But Blissett put it over. Quality in the opposition, at times giving the England players a chance to have too many touches in possession. Mabbott again doing his job. This is Koppel. And Blissett. Goal kick. The linesman was flagging anyway. It may well be that Luther Blissett was offside. But it was interesting again to see Gary Mabbott winning the ball for England. Koppel played it in towards the near post, but Blissett had gone offside. Butcher, the header that drops here for Sanson. Played half away by Giddes. England switched direction. Here's Neil. Blocked by Di Domenico. Koppel on a run. Cross doesn't get past Clemens. England add to their tally of corners. Martin. 3-0. Tony Woodcock. And the marking at the corner, well short of international standard. Koppel's corner. Alvin Martin unattended, and Tony Woodcock right on his own. It's Woodcock's 11th goal for England. He's on target here for the third successive international. Giddes. Reiter moving more freely now, linking up with Hellers. And Reiter again. Clements started to come, went back on his line. In the end, it's a goal kick. And Reiter with a little show of temper. Presumably against the challenge from Sansom. For a moment as though Clements might be called into action for the first time in this first half. Sansom. Martin. Now Lee. This is Neil. For Robson. And for Woodcock, and Blissett surely this time. Well, he's miskicked it in. For Blissett, it's gone almost everywhere except the back of the net in the first 45 minutes, and when he was left with the most open of goals, even then the touch wasn't sure, but it crept over the line almost apologetically. Woodcock caught Luxembourg square here. And Blissett slapped at it. It came off the toe and bobbled in. So he gets a goal in his first full international, played here as a substitute for just 9 minutes against West Germany. To the delight, I'm sure, of the many family that have come as his guests tonight. And it means that England now lead 4-0 with a goal in the last minute of the first half. Sansom. Touch from Woodcock. Now Blissett. He felt that Clemens felt that Blissett had dived and was trying to attract the referee's attention to that point, but the free kick has been given. Steve Coppell, the England player who's joined the wall. Now will Lee have a crack here, as he did in Greece? Robson over the ball with Blissett. England waiting their moment. And it may well be that they'll run out of time. It is half-time, in fact. But Luxembourg, as expected, have come as lambs to the slaughter here. John O'Merce beaten in unfortunate circumstances. The first goal will go down as an own goal against him. And after that, Steve Coppell quickly made it 2. Tony Woodcock got a third. And then Luther Blissett on the stroke of half-time, sending England into the dressing room, leading Luxembourg here by 4-0. We'll take a break. Join us again for the second half. Welcome back to Wembley. England with already 4 goals in the bank. It could easily have been 5 as we look again at this incident in the second minute of the game. Gary Mabbott's header. Maybe Luther Blissett was in an offside position, but certainly the referee allowed play to go on and adjudged here that Merce made a save when it may well be that the ball had crossed the line. And Luxembourg using a substitute for the second half. It's Alain Nuremberg. Looks as though Marcel Di Domenico is the player he's replaced. So Luxembourg can hardly be looking forward to the next 45 minutes. Perhaps one target for England. 7 goals they scored here against Austria in 1973. They're on the attack straight away from the kick-off. Woodcock finding his effort stopped by Roman, painfully too. Lee with the corner. Alvin Martin, and Bossy just got there as Gary Mabbott threw himself at the ball. Robson. Here's Butcher. Blissett. Defensive work by Johnny Clemens, spoiled by the pass. Perhaps grateful for the involvement. Woodcock. First time touch from Abbott. And now Robson. Half stop by Roman and Blissett. It's another chance wide. Rather adding up to a catalogue of misses for him. It must be said that it came quickly across the face of the goal. Robson involved initially. It broke here for Coppell. Blissett stretching, couldn't divert it onto the target. Robson has come down to the touchline from his seat in the stand, and the first consequence of that is that Mark Chamberlain is warming up. Butcher. Butcher again. favours into that channel down the left-hand side, but Roman was the master then. Weiss. Here's Nuremberg. England for once caught a little square. And Luxembourg's first real shot in anger. Hammond's dropping to his right by the near post. And it's come after 62 minutes from Alain Nuremberg, the substitute. Woodcock. Now Mabbott. And Woodcock is onside this time. The angle widening by the second as the ball ran away from him, but Blissett puts it in. Woodcock's shot coming back off the bar. The second for Blissett. He found himself in the right place again. It seemed to be getting more and more difficult for Woodcock from this angle. He hit it with real power off the underside of the bar. And it came down perfectly for Blissett. And England haven't scored 5 goals at Wembley since Luxembourg were last here in 1977. But courtesy of Luther Blissett, it's 5 now. And England are looking to make their first substitution of the night. And it adds to the interest of the evening, really, because Mark Chamberlain will come on for his first taste of senior international football, replacing Steve Coppell. Chamberlain in his first season of First Division football with Stoke City. He came into the under-21 setup, and now his skills are on show at the full level. Chamberlain has immediately come wide on the right, as expected. He's got just over 20 minutes. Robson brought down by Reiter. Certainly been a game without any animosity. Robson again. Now Butcher. Into the feet of Woodcock. Was allowed to turn this time. Sansom. Well, both for club and country, he does get into that position quite often. He's still, at this level, looking to finish such a move. Complete miscue at the end. All the time that Alvin Martin wants. Plenty of movement ahead of Butcher here. Sansom. With one touch from Woodcock. Sansom linking up again. Unable to carry it to safety. Robson. Here's Woodcock. Chamberlain had gone to the near post. Sansom. Finally played in by Butcher. It's a goal that Mark Chamberlain takes the credit for. They all jumped together, but it was Chamberlain who headed it into the corner. He's been on the field barely 5 minutes in his first international. Terry Butcher supplying the cross. Well, he was hardly brought on to do that. It's 6-0, a moment that Mark Chamberlain will never forget. Finding himself in a central position, and Merce stranded on his line. It's 6-0, and England prospering here through the new brigade. So after a rather dead period at the start of the second half, England have found their way again. And they're running out of room on the scoreboard. Woodcock. One-sided it may be, but those who have made the journey to Wembley tonight are thoroughly enjoying it now. Lee, who handled. May well give the referee a chance to notice that England want to make their second substitution. His attention hasn't been attracted yet, and Glenn Hoddle, whose omission caused something of a stir, will get a taste of the action in place of his Tottenham teammate Gary Mabbott, but not for a moment. Chamberlain. Meunier. On from Blissett. Here's Chamberlain. Roman's drawn out of the middle. And Chamberlain passed him so easily. For that moment alone, many of the crowd will take away with them as a special memory. Now England can introduce Hoddle. Mabbott, who's not been fully fit with thigh trouble. But Glenn Hoddle, for so many, the enigma of the English game. He's back in the full international scene for the first time since he played against Kuwait in the World Cup. If the second substitution works as well as the first, Bobby Robson will be well pleased. Butcher. Roman has played Sansom onside. Seemed to be half-tripped, Kenny Sansom. If he'd gone down, it would have been possibly a penalty. But his whole attention was focused on the ball and his attempts to try and get in the cross. Now Robson. Bossy was the defender who was caught short. Robson, off the inside of the post and out. Nurse was nowhere near it. And Robson can reflect on the narrowest of misses. Completely lost Bossy on the turn. But no luck for the England captain. Woodcock, again using the first touch to good effect. Here's Neil. And Woodcock. A move that deserved the finish. Meanwhile, Luxembourg have a free kick. The problem, the ball being moved by the wind. And given the difficulties in the conditions, England can look back on this match with some pleasure. It never has been a contest. Again, I don't think anyone really expected that it would be. England's task was to score goals here. They've accomplished that. Tellez. Sansom. Now Lee. Reiter chasing in. Martin, have a look at Phil Neal. As if to say, you might have played it a little more firmly in my direction. And it's Lee, who's the furthest England player forward in this attack. Hooked out by Dresch. Neil. Now Hoddle, quickening the tempo. Good turn by Woodcock. He was trying to just slip it through for Robson. Robson, Woodcock sensing possibilities again. This it's in the middle. It's the hat-trick! Well, it could have been a night when they might have remembered the misses by Blissett in the first half, but now they'll remember that on his first full appearance for his country, he's got a hat-trick, a close-range header here from Woodcock's cross. Woodcock withstanding the challenge from Bossy, and from then on it was a formality for Blissett. It's 7-0. And you remember the 5 goals Malcolm McDonald scored against Cyprus. That was the last time that an England player got 3 or more in a full international. To find the previous 3-goal tally before that, you have to go back to the days of Geoff Hurst. Hurst just touching it away. Hoddle, 8-0. One from the Glenn Hoddle repertoire. Reminder for the England manager, because that was quality finishing in any context. Guided back by Robson, no nonsense with the volley, and you have to have superb technique to do that, and there's no doubting the technique of Hoddle, even though he was stretching. So England chalk up the 8th. And there are 2 minutes left. And it's becoming hard to keep count of it all. Well, it wasn't the most commercial international on paper. The Football Association even asked Bobby Robson to take part in their advertising campaign to get a crowd here tonight. For those who have ventured out in the middle of December, when they might have stayed by the firesides, have seen a match that they'll remember. Not for the nature of the contest, but for the night that England found the target. Woodcock with a bit of a handoff. Nuremberg. England having to do some defending for a change. Neil. Watson. Now Neil. Phil Neil is on the score sheet because you'll have a job to take that one away from him. It started with a strange goal here tonight of the goalkeeper, and it looks as though it's finished that way. Technically, Neil's attempted cross here would have gone in, I feel. Merce, diving there, made sure that it did. In 1961, when Bobby Robson was a player, England won 9-0 in Luxembourg. And now Robson Watson's team have emulated that achievement. And the England manager had two objectives here tonight. First of all, to get the victory, and secondly, to win convincingly, and you can hardly ask for a more convincing...
Qualificatif pour l'édition 84 commence entre 32 pays divisés en 7 groupes. Dans le groupe 1, l'Écosse et la Belgique sont favoris. Dans le match qui les oppose, Kenny Dalglish permet aux Écossais de mener 1-0. Mais l'équipe belge, devant son public, parvient à égaliser grâce à son buteur Erwin van den Berg. L'Écosse pourtant domine la rencontre et prend l'avantage toujours par Kenny Dalglish qui marque son deuxième but. L'Écosse mène alors 2-1. François van der Elst, un vétéran des derniers championnats d'Europe, réussit avec Erwin van den Berg et Jan Keulemans à relancer l'intérêt de la rencontre. Et puis, c'est le but de la victoire signé Van der Elst dans les dernières minutes. L'Écosse a la possibilité d'égaliser, mais le pénalty arrêté par Faf assure à la Belgique une place pour la phase finale.
Said it was one of the most dramatic games he'd ever seen. Wales, attacking from left to right, scored after only 5 minutes. Ian Rush's shot rebounding to the scorer, Brian Flynn. Yugoslavia's equaliser came from a corner, the scorer Svetkovic, but Wales failed to heed the warning. 3 minutes later, as the slow-motion picture shows, another corner, again taken by Trifunovic, had Dai Davis in trouble, and Šivkovic made it 2-1. Worse was to follow as Wales went 3-1 down when a cross from the right by Deveric found Kranjčar unmarked in the muddy goalmouth. However, before half-time, Wales pulled a goal back thanks to a dreadful mistake by Yugoslav defender Nikolic. An open invitation for Liverpool's Ian Rush to score his 18th senior goal of the season and make the score 3-2. In the second half, Wales again fell victim to a Trifunovic corner, with substitute Jesic making it Yugoslavia 4, Wales 2. Brian Flynn gave Yugoslavia a taste of their own medicine when his corner produced a first-ever international goal for fullback Joey Jones. Yugoslavia 4, Wales 3, but the drama wasn't complete. A free kick touched on by Flynn to Robbie James brought Wales their equaliser, and later another shot by...
Dalglish has Archibald ahead of him. That's a good pass for Archibald. Back to Dalglish. And Scotland take the lead. A marvellous opening. 12 and a half minutes of the first half gone.
That was a beautiful inch-perfect pass to Archibald, who, to be fair to him, did terrific then by squaring it and letting Kenny run through only goalkeeper to beat. That was a well-executed goal, tremendous goal.
Hughes playing it short, the Vander's missing. Cook for Cowton. This is where his pace could be so dangerous for Scotland. Van der Elst is there, there's Van den Berg. And that's the equaliser.
But this boy has got such a lovely left foot that every time he knocks the ball in that box, he's so active. That was a superb ball. Leighton did very well as it happened to come out and challenge for it, but the Belgians got the break. It dropped lovely for Van den Berg, and that's it, 1-1.
Well, Scotland happily putting passes together in the Belgian half. Archibald needs some support. Certainly done plenty of running in the match so far for Scotland. Dalglish. Well, that's a great turn by Dalglish. Chance now on for Scotland. Dalglish is best. Oh. And that is a goal to remember. Marvellous play by Kenny Dalglish, and if anyone cares to question his ability to Scotland jersey, let him look at that goal again. Absolutely magnificent. Perhaps the only man in the United Kingdom who could have done this. Great play, and look at the finish with the left foot. Walter Muse. Van den Berg took up good position, so did Keulemans. Great play from Belgium. Van der Elst. And this time it's the Belgians' turn to celebrate. Francois Van der Elst, the hammer of the Scots, does it Here's Ceulemans again, and lots of space for Belgium. This might be the man to tear Scotland apart. Van der Smissen to Van der Elst. And Van der Elst celebrates in typical fashion as Belgium take the lead for the first time in the match. Stark to Souness. Souness is brought down. That's a penalty kick. Foul by Ceulemans. Referee Garrido, no hesitation at all, and now we are faced with a most crucial penalty kick for Scotland. Now Gray will take the kick. The save from Clark. And utter dejection from Frank Gray out of his Scottish colleagues. Let's take a look at it again. Now, did the goalkeeper move? Let's check on that. Well, there's not much doubt about it. He was away before the ball was struck, but it was still a great save.
A truly astonishing match played in atrocious conditions. The pitch was barely playable. Began splendidly for Wales. Just 5 minutes gone when Ian Rush broke clear after this long kick upfield by Di Davis. Although Svila, the Yugoslav goalkeeper, saved his shot, Brian Flynn was able to steer in the rebound. As you see from the replay, it was the determined challenge from Robbie James that created the opening for Rush, who would be disappointed perhaps not to have scored himself. Brave keeping there by Svila, but Flynn's finishing was cool and clinical. 9 minutes later, Yugoslavia were level. The first of 3 goals resulting from corners on the left by Trifunovic. The diving header from Zvetkovic, squeezing past Di Davis. The second Yugoslav goal on 18 minutes was a similar one. Zvetkovic, this time sliding the ball in after Davis had missed the cross. And certainly the goalkeeper at fault here as he dashes off the line. Although in fairness to Davis, timing in such heavy conditions was clearly a problem. So after such an encouraging start, Wales were now struggling. 2-1 down, and 9 minutes from half-time they went further behind from this move down the Yugoslav right. Pranaka with plenty of time to steady himself in the mud and turn the ball in. Good work from Stojkovic had sent Deveric clear on the right. His cross eluding defenders, and Pranaka, who was a constant threat up front, managed to score despite a despairing dive there by Davis and the player on the line, Joey Jones. But the Welsh as ever showed their character, and a minute later Ian Rush, who's been in such prolific goal-scoring form of course for Liverpool, he made it 3-2, an error there by Trifunovic, presenting him with the chance. 3-2 then to Yugoslavia at half-time, but on 66 minutes the 2-goal lead was restored. Substitute Jesic this time on hand to score. Once more the Welsh defence failing to cope with the corner from the left. Davis scrambling as the ball comes across, but he can't manage to reach the ball, and Jesic is there to thump the ball in from just a couple of yards out. But still the courage of the Welsh shone through, and they almost scored when Robbie James burst clear and struck the bar with this fierce shot that Zvila couldn't quite hold. Ian Rush in the area had claimed the ball had crossed the line, and as you can see here quite clearly from the replay, it bounced down just in front of it. Just seconds later, though, at a moment that Joey Jones will treasure for a long time, his first international goal on his 48th appearance. A corner from Brian Flynn, and after efforts from first Rush and then Jeremy Charles, Jones finally scores, the ball going in off the goalkeeper and via a post too. 4-3, and soon the Welsh comeback was complete. A free kick 10 minutes from the end just outside the area, and Robbie James here curling the ball round the wall after Flynn had touched the ball back to him. A magnificent fight back then by Wales. They almost sneaked a win when James again hit the bar near the end.
Pass for Archibald, back to Dalglish, and Scotland take the lead. A marvellous opening. He is playing it short to Van der Smissen. Cook for Cowton. This is where his pace could be so dangerous for Scotland. Van der Elst is there, there's Van den Berg, and that's the equaliser. Well, Scotland happily putting passes together in the Belgian half. Archibald needs some support. Certainly done plenty of running in the match so far for Scotland. Dalglish. Oh, that's a great turn by Dalglish. Chance now on for Scotland. Dalglish in his best. Oh. And that is a goal to remember. Walter Muse. Van den Berg took up good position, so did Ceulemans. Great play from Belgium. Van der Elst. And this time it's the Belgians' turn to celebrate. Francois Van der Elst, the hammer of the Scots, does it again. Here's Ceulemans again, and lots of space for Belgium. This might be the man to tear Scotland apart. Van der Smissen to Van der Elst.
A penalty a minute before half-time when Dutch goalkeeper Schrijvers brought down Carrasco of Spain, settled this European Championship match in Seville. Spain's Senor scored from the spot, sending Schrijvers the penalty a minute before half-time when Dutch goalkeeper Schrijvers brought down Carrasco of Spain, settled this European Championship match in Seville. Spain's Senor scored from the spot, sending Schrijvers the wrong way. It was the only goal and keeps Spain in contention in Group 7.
Yes, as you could... Davis in the middle and working together. England in a bit of a mess, and here's Rush, and Wales are in front. It's a nice turn, but he hasn't quite lost jacket. Good determination from him. Devonshire, Butcher, completely unmarked, and it's 1-1. Statham. Golden cards once again. Again, he's running at the defence, and that's got to be a penalty. A lunging tackle by Brian Flynn. So a certain amount of pressure on Phil Neal, who missed in the cup tie on Sunday. It was awfully straight, but it's... Defeat for England's next opponents came on an unfamiliar icy pitch, and the opening goal came from a lack of resolution by Saganis, the Greek goalkeeper. The scorer, Hans Richter, in the 18th minute. The Greeks equalised on the half-hour when a header on by Anastopoulos was accepted by Ardizoglu. But the shaking of gloves soon gave way to the wringing of hands when the recalled veteran Joachim Streich gave the Germans their winning lead 3 minutes later. It was his 46th goal in 87 matches.
Yes, 1-0 to Portugal and a goal worth a second showing. The cross from the left is by Costa, but it's really the volley from Dito which any footballer would love to emulate.
Kevin Ratcliffe. A touch from Robbie James, and then from Davis. And now Rush. He's kept the run going. Blissett again. Turns past Jacket. And Butcher! Well, it was a scramble. Cowans. And Statham and Cowans. Now this time it is a penalty. Southall reluctant to go back on his line, but Phil Neal, who on Sunday, on his 32nd birthday, missed the penalty that would have kept Liverpool in the cup, scores...
Now icy pitch, and the opening goal came from a lack of resolution by Saganis, the Greek goalkeeper. The scorer, Hans Richter, in the 18th minute. The Greeks equalised on the half-hour when a header on by Anastopoulos was accepted by Ardizoglu. But the shaking of gloves soon gave way to the wringing of hands when the recalled veteran Joachim Streich gave the Germans their winning lead 3 minutes later. It was his 46th goal in 87 matches.
So the first corner kick of the match, and picking his way through the pools of water is Sammy McIlroy, and it looks good. The goalkeeper comes and misses it. Martin O'Neill with the shot, and it's gone in. And Northern Ireland get the early goal they wanted. So another corner for Northern Ireland, laid back this time to Donaghy. Floated in, and it looks dangerous as Brotherton comes on and hits the bar, and it's turned over the line by McClellan. John McClellan gets his first ever goal for Northern Ireland with 17 minutes gone. Good run here. Selchuk doing well, and a fine run too. Oh, and Northern Ireland fatally have conceded a goal. Hassan gets it.
In Valletta, the Republic of Ireland left it very late in beating the Maltese. But this 89th minute goal from Frank Stapleton was enough to secure 2 vital European Championship points.
Ponty will take the in-swing, and it's a very good one, and it's a goal. It's gone in, and it's... No, in fact, it was Egley. It was an open one, it's the second. Goal there by Herman. Nobody covering him. 2-0. Gordon Strachan. 20 minutes remaining. Scotland 2 down. That's a good ball to Ward. He's done it. Brilliantly taken by Ward. 2-1. Suddenly a lot of lambs have turned into lions. Away goes Nicholas. He's done it. Oh, brilliantly. Oh, what a goal.
Butcher got a flick on, and Sagahanis, his luck holds. Butcher got the touch. But England reduced perhaps now to looking for a flick on from a set play. Martin. Xanthopoulos across. And unfortunately for England, understandably, the Wembley crowd chanting what a load of rubbish. Francis, well, they've paid their money and they deserve to see better than this. Possession without penetration. Now, are Greece going to hold on, or are England going to win the match in the last 5 minutes? Dundas. And that was a dangerous back pass from the captain, Gunaris, and he needed the help of me. And Trevor Francis. Good save, because there were 2 coming in for a rebound. Championship, and England in particular, by holding them.
Ponty will take the in-swing, and it's a very good one, and it's a goal. It's gone in, and it's... No, in fact, it was Egley. That was put in by Egley. He was close up there. A scrambled sort of goal. And up went the big central defender. It was an open one, it's the second. Goal there by Herman. Nobody covering him. 2-0. Dire covering by the Scottish defence. And severely punished. Absolutely nobody marking. Alec McLeish turned round, and there it was in the back of the net. Gordon Strachan. 20 minutes remaining. Scotland 2 down. That's a good ball to Ward. He's done it. Brilliantly taken by Ward. 2-1. A superb pass from midfield. And the deep run by John Ward paying off. As I said, with 20 minutes of the game remaining. Suddenly a lot of lambs have turned into lions. Away goes Nicholas. He's done it! Oh, brilliantly! Oh, what a goal! Oh, one of the best! And look at this. A touch of arrogance about the way he strode forward and looked beautifully taken.
In 3 matches, and now look certainties to qualify. Their opening goal in East Germany was scored by West Ham's Francois van der Elst, a diving header from a cross by Kuhleman. That goal came 9 minutes before half-time, and although the East Germans came back strongly, it was Belgium who scored again in the second half with a similar move. Van der Smeesen's cross this time, the header by Vandenberg, and Belgium in control. although they did concede a goal 7 minutes from the end, when Strijk, East Germany's best-known player, got a lucky deflection from a free kick to make it East Germany 1, Belgium 2.
In Albania, a save by Schumacher and a miss by Coles came before West Germany were able to take control of their match. The determination of their captain, Rummenigge, started the move which led to the first goal 3 minutes after that escape. But it needed a mistake from Litbarski's cross to produce it. Muster just reached the deflection, but Voller was left with a simple tap-in. The relief was obvious. And fortune was again on their side with the second goal. Litbarski plays Engels in, but he certainly made the most of the challenge of Targaj, in which Rummenigge was given the chance to score from the penalty. And Muster was well beaten. But any thoughts that from here Germany would gain the decisive victory their beleaguered manager wanted and maybe needed were ended when the second penalty was given in the match, this time for hands by Engels. And Targaj stepped forward to make the final score, Albania 1, West Germany.
Ball. McElroy turns it back. Yes! Ian Stewart.
Brian Flynn, 5 Welsh players were involved in the goal. Jones the head. Thomas the shot. James the shot. And Charles the scorer. It wasn't exactly the best planned goal of the European England had at home to the Greeks from this corner by Bertelsen. Busk rose to meet the ball for the only goal of the evening. The one to delight a familiar face to English football, Alan Simonsen, recently of Charlton.
Meanwhile, in Brussels, Belgium lost an early goal against East Germany when this long-range free kick by Joachim Strijk was deflected in off Belgium's defensive wall. However, Belgium went on to secure a victory, which means that Scotland now cannot qualify. A brilliant header by Koelemans brought Belgium level. But their winning goal really was something special. There seemed no real danger when Ludo Koek received the ball 30 yards from goal, but he caught the East German goalkeeper Ruud Verlight completely by surprise. David O'Leary and goalkeeper Jim McDonough cost the Republic of Ireland in green the first goal, scored by Santillana. Of the Real Madrid team, which faces Aberdeen in the Cup Winners' Cup final. And one of them, Juan José, took the free kick, which led to Spain's brilliant second goal, scored by Rincon.
Good spell this by England. Pulling them one way, then the other, then with!
White easily swept aside a Portuguese team which recently beat West Germany. Bento, Portugal's goalkeeper, had a bad night, first being beaten by Cherenkov. Former European Player of the Year Oleg Blokin was the star of Russia's win, and here he lays on the second goal. Pushing the ball through for Baltachar, whose shot was slotted home by Rodionov. A fine individual goal by Demyanenko made it 3-0, but again Portugal's goalkeeper has to take some blame for leaving a tempting gap. Goal number 4 was again engineered by Blokin, his fine through ball being perfectly judged by Cherenkov, who goes on to score despite Portugal's claims for offside. With 3 minutes remaining, the crowd of 100,000 in Moscow celebrated the Russians' 5th goal. It was scored with a superb shot by Larionov, and the Soviet Union are now strong favourites to qualify.
We've got a flick on there and run in by Robson. Francis. That's a good cross, and Cowans arrived but didn't get hold of it at all. Neil tried to pick a way through. Cowans!
Dans le troisième groupe, les espoirs européens de l'Angleterre se sont doucement envolés devant une équipe danoise particulièrement motivée. Dès la première minute, Laudrup traverse tout le terrain et tire à côté. L'Angleterre l'a échappé belle. Mais ce n'est que partie remise. Un peu plus tard, le capitaine anglais Phil Neal arrête le ballon de la main dans la surface de réparation. C'est le penalty. Alan Simonsen, premier joueur européen en 1977, prend une belle revanche sur ses 4 mois passés en Angleterre avec l'équipe de 2e division de Charlton. Il réussit le penalty, la victoire au Danube.
Alain Gerger.
Italy's first win since the World Cup final.
The only.
Well, they're encroaching there on the 10 yards, and the referee may be entitled to show the yellow card. Just a warning. And Hoddle, brilliant. 1-0 to England, set up for him, then beautifully accepted. Just the sort of chance he would relish. Defender got there in front of them. Sammy Lee. Oh, save, what a shot, and a goal. Robson, nice measured defending by England. Luther Blissett's first touch letting him down rather there, but he recovered to outpace the defender anyway. And Mariner's coming in on the far side. He's onside, and he'll leave it for Lee. Hoddle's also supporting the attack here, number 8. And Hoddle squeezing it for Mariner, and England score again.
And also Kravchuk, the bad boy of Hungarian football, whose pass split the Danish defence and allowed Sandor Kish to score the goal which salvaged England's European Championship hopes. It came after 56 minutes, largely against the run of play. The Shirts took the lead through Rudi Völler just before half-time, and a large police presence in West Berlin deterred neo-fascist activators in the crowd. The only demonstration was provided by Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, who scored the second goal after 61 minutes. Rudi Völler, the Werder Bremen centre-forward, voted Player of the Year last season in West Germany, scored a spectacular third. That was from distance, but his instinct is a reminder of Gerd Müller. Uli Stüliker, playing in midfield and not as sweeper, made it 4-0. It was the Real Madrid player's first goal in 34 appearances for his country. Turkey got a goal back from a corner a minute later, the scorer Hassan. But it was the family Rummenigge who had the last word. When Stüliker was brought down inside the area there, it was Karl-Heinz who stepped forward to convert the penalty. And in the last 8 minutes, his younger brother Michael made his international debut as substitute after playing barely a dozen games for Bayern Munich.
The only goal. So, will Greece prefer to help England qualify at the expense?
Elkier to take on Van Bakulas, and he's got the pace. Preben Elkier. Denmark score after 16 minutes. Elkier showing well for Denmark to collect the pass from Busk. Here's Berggren, prepared to run that Van Bakulas, and Simonsen. 2-0, and the Danish players leap into the air in delight and rush to congratulate Alan Simonsen.
So celibate.
Baines floated a long way in there. And eventually it's gone in, and Brian Robson is the scorer for England. Here's Lee. Mariner trying to get on the end of it. And it's gone in, and Mariner will claim it. Union Jacks all around the ground today. Leeds United and Huddersfield represented there. Mariner turning it back. Devonshire trying to get it in. And it'll come again for Hoddle, and he's onside. Crossed in. Barnes with a header. Butcher surely, and number 3 for England. Barboni losing out as Robson comes in quickly with the challenge. Hoddle playing it in again for Robson. Number 4, well taken.
His long run extends Schumacher. Ramsey's shot intercepted by Norman Whiteside, and Whiteside gets a famous winner. But despite beating the European champions twice, the Irish now need a miracle.
Battling and looking to fall, and the shot is there now. Vladimir has scored! Vladimir has got it!
And once again, it's Thompson to Scotland's rescue. Zernsto in the break for East Germany. A lot of men going through the middle. Good interception from Alveston. Ronald Clear. Taking a deflection. And East Germany go 1-up. Streich. Backs continue the forward run. No penalty. Well, appeals all around the stadium for a penalty for East Germany, waved aside by the referee. I think the replay may show that Scotland were a shade lucky there. It doesn't matter, that's the second goal. Now striking. Forced to do most of the work in deep positions, Gordon striking tonight. And of course, threat's not quite the same from there. Here's Mugabe. Chance for Bannon. And Bannon brings Scotland back.
Holland to the top of Group 7. And it was a local favourite, Feyenoord's Peter Houtman, who hammered the Dutch into the lead with 26 minutes gone. 4 minutes from half-time, though, a terrible error from the bulky, veteran Dutch goalkeeper Piet Schrijvers, and Santillana heading the equaliser for Spain. The Dutch winner came in the 63rd minute, created by Gerard Vandenberg, and Ruud Gullit from 30 yards with the help of a deflection, a goal that takes Holland a large step towards the push on Zelensky. And Radar collected his second with his powerful penalty technique.
Playing from the left only required a draw and took the lead through Joel Gau after 63 minutes. The Czechs, who won the European Championship in 1976 and finished third in 1980, equalised 5.
The bounce of the ball very uneven. Looks like it is. Whiteside, 1-0 for Northern Ireland. Seeing much more of Ireland now. Neat little touch in McElroy. No, has it been given? Yes.
Situation indécise dans le groupe 4 où 3 équipes ont une chance de se qualifier. À Cardiff, le Pays de Galles semble devoir s'imposer contre la Yougoslavie, d'autant plus que les Gallois ouvrent la marque. Radcliffe fait une passe de 40 mètres à son buteur Robbie James. Une feinte, le gardien yougoslave Simovic est battu. Le Pays de Galles mène 1-0 après 53 minutes de jeu. Mais la persévérance est l'un des atouts des Yougoslaves. Le ballon parvient à Badzarevic qui tire. Match nul, un but partout. Le Pays de Galles doit alors attendre le résultat du dernier match de ce groupe entre la Bulgarie et la Yougoslavie dans la ville de Split. La Bulgarie en maillot blanc prend l'avantage par Iskrenov à la 28e minute. Un deuxième but et c'est la qualification pour la Bulgarie. La Yougoslavie, elle, doit maintenant marquer 2 buts pour se qualifier. Ils égalisent dans la première demi-heure grâce à Suzic. 1-1, le Pays de Galles est toujours en course pour la phase finale en France. Mais après 7 minutes en deuxième mi-temps, Suzic, toujours lui, marque pour la Yougoslavie. Mais un nouveau rebondissement va se produire dans ce groupe. Après 1 heure de jeu, le gardien de but yougoslave Simovic ne peut arrêter un coup franc bulgare. Dimitrov Jorge égalise pour la Bulgarie. 2-2. Donc le Pays de Galles se retrouve à nouveau dans la course. Les 90 minutes sont écoulées et l'arbitre fait jouer les arrêts de jeu. Vučković déborde sur la gauche et centre sur la tête de Radanovic. Il inscrit le but de la victoire. Ainsi, il ne reste qu'un finaliste à désigner dans le groupe 7. L'Espagne a besoin de gagner par 11 buts d'écart contre Malte pour éliminer la Hollande et venir en France. À la mi-temps, le score est seulement de 3-1 et les chances de l'Espagne sont minimes. En deuxième mi-temps, c'est l'explosion. Une avalanche de buts va surprendre le gardien maltais. 9 buts réussis en 45 minutes. Une bien curieuse deuxième mi-temps. L'Espagne gagne 12-1. Donc, les 7 équipes qualifiées pour la phase finale en France sont la Belgique, le Portugal, le Danemark, la Yougoslavie, la Roumanie, l'Allemagne de l'Ouest, l'Espagne. La 8e équipe étant bien sûr la France, qualifiée d'office en tant que pays organisateur. Donc, dans le groupe 1, la Belgique termine en tête devant la Suisse, l'Allemagne de l'Est et l'Écosse. Pendant ce temps, dans le deuxième groupe, un penalty réussi par le buteur Jordao donne au Portugal la victoire sur l'Union soviétique par 1-0 dans le dernier match, le plus indécis de ce groupe. Pour la première fois depuis la Coupe du Monde en 1966, cette victoire permet aux Portugais d'accéder à la phase finale, bien que les Soviétiques les aient battus 5-0 lors de leur... C'est donc le Danemark qui se qualifie dans ce troisième groupe. Les spectateurs à Split ne sont pas près d'oublier cette rencontre. Ainsi, la Yougoslavie se qualifie dans ce quatrième. Pendant ce temps, dans le groupe 5, l'Italie multiplie les contre-performances et ce tout de suite après son triomphe de la Coupe du Monde en 1982, ce qui permet à la Roumanie de se qualifier. Turquie et l'Albanie.
For the European Championship brought a 1-0 defeat. A fine individual goal by Garaba of Hungary. Slow motion replay shows
when Rossi got the first of his 3 with a really cheeky piece of opportunism. Then, after 37 minutes, a magnificent long pass from defence found Altobelli on the left, and his tricky run and accurate cross was turned in by the perfectly positioned Rossi. That made it 3-0 to Italy, with 2 for Rossi so far, and almost on the half-time whistle he completed his hat-trick. Cabrini's run and cross this time, Ferreira fumbles, and there's golden boy Paolo making it 4-0 to Italy, a scoreline that became 5-0 in the second half with Bruno Conti.
Derby again, and Sturrock behind Charles, and Charles brings him down. Scotland have a penalty. Jeremy Charles hauling down Paul Sturrock. Cooper against Southall. Oh, just under the goalkeeper, who was bitterly disappointed having guessed the right way. Oh, it's just a little bit static. But Thomas not closely watched by Miller. And the shooting chance is Robbie James, and he can hit them. Superb equaliser. Still plenty to play for here. Make no mistake, Wales are desperately keen to win at Hampden Park. But Maurice Johnston puts them behind and adds to the remarkable saga.
Dogged by Butcher. Tigana going ahead of Gires. And Platini! England caught drawn towards Alain Gires, and Platini sneaked in behind Mike Duxbury. Fernandez. And now Touré, it broke for him off Duxbury. Shilton's got to come and did well. And then handled quite clearly outside the area. Platini, 2-0.
La France dispute un dernier match de préparation face à l'Angleterre à Paris. L'équipe de France est emmenée par Michel Platini, le joueur européen de l'année. Son deuxième but contre les Anglais est un modèle du genre, un coup franc qui est devenu sa spécialité dans le football européen. Les qualités évidentes de Michel Platini, renforcées par la politique de son entraîneur, Michel Hidalgo, permettent à l'équipe de France de pratiquer.
1 minute. Their sweeper, Ruud Gullit, timed his run well from the back to make the extra man on the right, and his cross was headed firmly home by Wim Kieft. Kieft now plays in Italy for Pisa. And it was a second Dutch exile, René van der Heyp, who plays in Belgium for Lokeren, whose blistering shot made it 2-0 on the half hour. A fine goal, and that was the half-time score. In the second half, the Dutch scored 4 more goals and enjoyed plenty of freedom, helped by some suicidal Danish defending. It was Feyenoord's Peter Houtman who made it 3-0 after 54 minutes. Houtman's clubmate, Andre Hoekstra, was making his international debut for Holland, and he it was who stole in at the near post to score number 4. The 5th goal came from a long cross by the experienced Dutch right-back Ben Wijnstekkers. But watch out again for Houtman, who this time scores with a header. That made it 5-0. And then in the last minute, Hoekstra bounded forward again from midfield and was bundled over inside the penalty area. An obvious penalty, and it gave Van der Heijdt the chance to make it 6-0 from the penalty spot. A rewarding win for the Dutch, who played with 3 men up front rather than the usual 2.
1-0. Beaten away and followed in by Tony.
Half-time, Preben Eriksson the scorer. Eriksson on as substitute for Michael Laudrup. But Spain immediately hit back, and quite a goal it was. Look for the skill of Carlos Santillana, who bamboozles Danish keeper Rasmussen and his defenders before scoring. That made it 1-1, and more skill was involved with the goal that sent the Spanish fans home happy. It came 6 minutes later from Juan Sebor, curling his free kick beyond the reach of the rather late-moving keeper.
The referee playing an advantage as Jacket helped it on. And Hughes, it's his second goal and only his second international. And Jim Platt beaten 6 minutes after coming on. Wales pulling numbers back. Here's Donaghy. O'Neill again. Whiteside. And Southall comes and didn't make it. And Jerry Armstrong got the touch.
Strachan. Cooper shouting for it on the right. It's not bad, and McGee's done it and scored. 1-0 for Scotland. Well kept in, now Woodcock. Superb run, and it's a brilliant goal by Woodcock. Oh, no wonder he's elated.
Now can he take Leandro? John Barnes now. Might go all the way for England. Barnes. He scored, and England amazingly are into the lead. Wilkins with it. Woodcock making himself available. Pearce there with him. Barnes also available. He got his cross in well. And another one! And penalty it is. And it's Acosta who will take it. And who scores. Aguilera. Montelongo. Cabrera waiting for the header, and he might now get the chance as well.
Days ago. 2 significant recent victories then by Yugoslavia. Señor's goal there clinched it, and he and Real Madrid's Carlos Santillana are key players. Señor it was who curled in a free kick winner in a friendly against Denmark in April, and that was after a quite magnificent goal by Santillana, in which he expressed individually all the skills of which Spanish footballers are very capable. You have to look back to 1966 for Portugal's last appearance in the final stages of a major tournament. But when Jordão's penalty beat the Soviet Union last November, the football world sat up and took notice. Jordão, a slimmer version of old Portuguese favourite Eusebio, is a similar crowd pleaser. How about this volley in last week's friendly against Yugoslavia? The Portuguese completed their preparation for France with a 2-1 win against Luxembourg last Saturday. Gomes getting the first goal. Benfica's Diamantino is another important player. He's discovered a goal-scoring touch few expected from him and neatly flicked away the winner in Luxembourg. Another surprise finalist are Romania, who finished ahead of Sweden, Czechoslovakia, Italy and Cyprus to qualify. One of the most memorable moments en route for France came in Romania's last game in Group 5. The goal from Jalgau, which earned a vital point against Czechoslovakia. But it's to their Footballer of the Year, Ladislau Baloni, that Romania will really be hoping for inspired form. Baloni it was who snatched the winner against world champions Italy in another shock result. And if I had to single out one other Romanian match winner, it would be Augustin. It was his goal for Dinamo Bucharest, which ended Hamburg's reign as Europe's top club side. So we come to the current holders of the European Championship, West Germany. Twice winners and once runners-up in the last 3 tournaments, they arrive hardly in disarray, but with manager Jupp Derval facing terrible criticism and not yet forgiven for playing a half-fit Karl-Heinz Rummenigge in the World Cup final against Italy. But of course Rummenigge can always win games, and as he showed against Austria last October, he's lost none of his old sharpness. Mind you, it's being suggested Germany's captain might play in a deeper role, so leaving the main striking job to Rudi Fuller. Whatever the internal problems, the Germans can't be dismissed. Their preparation is thorough, and it's included a friendly on French soil.
Oh, and he's turned in, and there are 3 in the middle here for France. Briegel got a touch, and Gengini, and it's there! By Gengini for France.
That 1-0 victory for France in April would have been much greater but for a quite outstanding display of goalkeeping by Harald Schumacher. Although applauding that display, the French have never really had a perfect opportunity to settle an old score.
Against Chile. Then next Wednesday, live coverage of West Germany v Spain.